Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to my little podcast. Oh, I forgot I'm calling this the Untouchable Pod. Also, nobody questioned my mismatch outfit, okay? I was wearing a cute little mini skirt with this, but then I decided I was gonna be comfortable, and the sweatpants are the best. They're from Urban, highly recommend. But honestly, I just wanted to talk to you guys because the amount of DMs I have been getting asking me to start a podcast, and I was like, don't you worry. I already have the mics. I already have all of the equipment set up and going. So it's coming soon. And this has been a year in the making because it was last year before I even started going full time social media because I was in school that I spent so much money on this equipment. And I still need to figure out some of the setup. This took me like 30 minutes, but here we are. And I'm excited. And I kind of just want to sit down and talk to you guys. And honestly, this is my new thing because when you start social media, everyone tells you make viral content, make things that have a hook, make them short and choppy and provide value. That's the biggest thing they say, to provide value. And I started to think about it as I got into social media and started posting. Like, I don't care about providing value. Like, respectfully, I'm going to be myself. And if people want to see that and want to listen to it and hear what I have to say, then great, follow me, join the club. But if they're just here for the value they can get from me, like, that's not really my goal in my journey here. So, I'm just not going to be making content for other people. I'm going to make it the way that I act and perceive. And if it doesn't work with the algorithm, like, I do not care. I literally don't care because I know that I have the personality for it. Like, I just have everything I need. And I just don't think the whole algorithm thing applies to me because that's not what I want. That's not what I'm doing. And I'm not going to fall in line and do what everyone else is doing. Like, everyone's like, don't reinvent the wheel. And I get that. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to conform into what everyone else is telling me to do. And it's also really frustrating because people, not even online, I'm fine with the people online. It's the people in my real life being like, Tali, make your videos like this, or you do make it like that, or I thought this about this. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's not your podcast, it's not your social media, it's not your TikTok. Like, leave me alone. Let me make the videos I want to make. But anyways, my recent endeavor I want to tell you guys about is sorry, my dad's texting me. I don't know if you guys could hear that. He's ordering my TV for my apartment. So, but what was I gonna say? Oh, my jewelry business. So, I want to start a jewelry business and I would love to hear your guys' comments on this. I think one reason that I'm excited about the jewelry business too is I've always been big on like my nails. I always have my nails done. And so, I really want to create rings that I like. And I feel like I don't know why I've never loved wearing rings. And I just feel like I can't find rings that are like what I want them to be. Like, I don't know if it's the sizing that I can never figure out or they just don't stay on my fingers. And then when they do, they like get stuck. I don't know. But I want to figure out a way to make rings that I want to wear. Like, I honestly am starting this business like for myself. Like, I want cute jewelry that I would wear. And then like other people can get the cute stuff too. You know what I mean? But I really want to be able to create my own thing. Everyone's always complimenting my jewelry. Right now, these are just like every jewels, but I think they are actually. I don't really know, but I feel like I have a really good eye for it. And I honestly have this idea to make the whole thing gold. But honestly, I feel like I want to make this podcast just really raw and real. I feel like in my TikTok, I always have to be at 100 with my energy. And it's honestly so draining, guys. And like, as much as if anyone follows me, you know, I love living alone. Like, I do. It is so fulfilling. Like, it just really fills my cup and makes me happy. But there are some times where my energy is just low. And obviously that's gonna happen because I'm by myself. I'm not always gonna be at 1,000. Even when I'm with other people, sometimes my energy just like runs out and I have nothing left to give. But I find that happening a lot living alone. And keep in mind, I've only ever lived either alone or with my parents. My freshman year of college, I had suite mates, but like I had my own room still. Um, so just living, I think growing up in a family of 10, like there was always someone there. There was always someone to do something with and talk to and bother when I was bored. And so sometimes living alone gets me a little bit because I'm just like, it's so quiet. Like, I just feel like it would be so fun to just like be able to go annoy people. But at the same time, I don't want roommates. I don't want to live with anyone. And that's another thing too is like sometimes I wish, and take this with a grain of salt because obviously I don't apply this to my life. So how much do I really want it if I'm not doing it? But sometimes I'm like, damn, like I wish I was someone who could just hang out with friends all day and have like casual friends that we do nothing. But the truth is, those are such high maintenance friendships that I cannot maintain. Like it's just not reasonable for me. Especially being so goal oriented and driven. Like people say like it does get lonely and I hate the word lonely because I can never feel lonely when I'm with myself. Like I genuinely feel like when I have myself, I'm not alone. And I just hate that word. And I think it's so sad. And so, like, no, I don't feel lonely. I just feel low energy and like kind of quiet. And it's not like a void. It's not like, oh, I wish I was with someone. It's just like, damn, like, I don't know. I don't even have a word for it, but it's not lonely. That's not the emotion that I feel because I really do feel like I'm with me. Like I don't feel like I'm on my own by any means. I just feel like it's quiet, I guess. And not even necessarily quiet in my head, but just like physically quiet in the environment, which is why I am dying for my dad to finally order my TV because I love having noise on. Like even with my friends, it's so funny they would come over to my apartment. Like, let's say we walk home from like campus together and we go to my campus. We didn't even have a campus at NYU. Worst school ever, by the way. I'll talk about that on another episode. But let's say we were like walking back. We would get inside my apartment. I would just play music. And I never realized I do this until people started to point it out. And then I was like, damn, like I am always listening to music. And that's another thing, guys. I realized the importance of what music you're listening to because I love Gracie Abrams. Like, I really do. And even though I've never been through a breakup and I can't even really relate to the songs, like, something about her music just like penetrates. It's like deeply into my soul. I feel it. Like, I feel the emotions of the music. Like, I feel the beats of it. And I'm going to her concert in, I think, June or July. I'm so excited. But there's just something about her music that I love. And I've always loved sad music, but I've grown up and realized like it's almost like a treat to be able to listen to it. And I don't let myself because I don't know if you guys have seen that TikTok trend going around. It's like my brain doesn't know the difference between like, what is it? It's like um, my nervous system doesn't know the difference between like something I'm feeling or thinking and like what's actually happening. And that's so true. And that's why it's so important not to listen to sad music. Like it will literally change your life to listen to music that's like hyping you up, making you happy. Even just at the gym, it's like when you get in your head and you like try to like become down bad, even when you're feeling literally fine, like your nervous system doesn't know the difference. That's why like manifesting and daydreaming and all that stuff is so powerful because it is your reality. Like your mind and like your emotions don't really know the difference between what's real and what's not. Like they just feel what they feel and that's real to them. And so that's why it's so important not only to not like listen to music like that, but not to entertain sad thoughts. Like I think in the moment sometimes just like in my episode with Dakota we talked about in the moment sometimes it's easier to just go get that quick validation from a man. Sometimes it's easier to just like feel that quick sadness and emotion from a song, but you have to realize that long term, like it's ruining your life. And like, I don't say that lightly because your life really is your day to day. And like, that is ruining your day to day. It's ruining your emotions. It's ruining the way that you feel and think and act. And it's like, you should be careful. You should be careful because why are you making yourself and forcing yourself to be sad? And it's like, when I say this to you guys, I'm saying it to myself too. Like, I had to stop myself from doing that anymore because it is toxic. And how much do you love yourself if you're like kind of forcing yourself to be sad and listen to this music? And even if something did occur to make you feel that way, you entertaining that and feeding it is like you giving it life. You know what I mean? And that's why I always say, like, you don't have to entertain every thought that comes into your mind. And I know this is going to sound insane, but my dad taught me this and he was like, don't listen to the voices. Like, they're lying to you. Cause I definitely like had some sort of, I don't want to like label myself because my parents have also taught me a lot about the power of labeling. And so I never want to do that, which is why I never like have gone to any like therapist or psychologist, because there is power in a label. Someone tells you, oh, you have anxiety, you have OCD, all of a sudden, like that is something that you kind of associate yourself with, and labels can and are often very, very dangerous. But anyways, I had some sort of OCD, with a grain of salt, take that. But I had some sort of something where I would be like, okay, like this bad thing is going to happen if I don't do this. Like, if I don't shut my door 3 times, like my grandparents are going to die. Like, fucked up shit, guys. Like, if I don't do this, my sister's going to like get into like just like fucked up shit. And the truth is, it's normal. Like, everyone has some level of like anxiety or depression or OCD. Like, our brains, it's not anxiety, it's not depression, not OCD, like clinically. It's just being a human. Like, that's just a part of life. And I feel like once you realize, like, oh, this isn't something wrong with me, it's just that I'm human, but it becomes something wrong with you when you feed it and give it life. But, anyways, when I started to have a lot of those thoughts and it started really affecting me, I told my dad about it, and he genuinely was like, Talia, like, that happens to me. It happened, or not happens. It happened to me when I was younger. You will grow out of it. It is normal, but don't listen to the voices. And I know, again, that sounds psychotic, but the thing is, my parents never made a big deal out of anything I was feeling. And then, and them telling me, like, when I was sad or scared or having like OCD type thoughts, them telling me like it's normal instead of labeling me or sending me to someone, just being like, no, it's totally normal. Like, just keep going, or like you'll grow out of it. Things like that are what I attribute so much of my happiness to now, and so much of my positive mindset to now, because I never labeled myself. I never like gave in to that feeling of surrendering to something that I don't have control over. And like, I say these quotes in my videos, like, control the controllables. And you're like, okay, yeah, like control what you can control. But like, you have control over everything in your life. And that's what some people don't realize. Like, they think there are limitations, but those are just self imposing limitations. They're not actual limitations. Like, you impose them on yourself, essentially. And so it's like, you know, like, you actually don't have anxiety and depression. You have fed yourself that lie for so long, and you've given it so much life that now it's a problem when it never had to be, because it was normal to be sad for a little bit. And then this is the other thing you have to ask yourself, like, you're sad. Okay. What time did you wake up today? Did you work out? What'd you eat today? Did you drink coffee on an empty stomach? Like, are you surrounding yourself with good people? Are you fulfilled in whatever you're doing? Are you like setting goals and then reaching those goals? Like, are you journaling? Are you, whatever you have to do? It's like, you want to say you're anxious and depressed, but then it's like, tell me your routine. Tell me your daily routine. And I know this is going to piss some people off because they really believe everyone just has anxiety or depression and they just give it life. And that's our generation now. Oh, you're going through something. You have anxiety, you have depression, you have OCD. It's like, no, you're just normal. And like, honestly, tough love. Like, you're doing it to yourself. And then it's like, no, depression is the reason I can't get out of bed and can't do those things for myself. Actually, no, your negative ass mindset and your lack of worth ethic and your laziness are why you can't do those things for yourself. And honestly, a big part of it is how you were raised. And that is where I'm so passionate about parenting and mindset, and just like the reason that I want to help people and help them reprogram their mindsets, and also help them to develop that so then they can go on to teach their kids that, and their next generation won't be so fucked up. But it's really because I I know that I am the way I am because my parents taught me what a lot of parents don't even know to teach their kids. They don't even have it in themselves to teach their kids. And it's like, I got lucky. I did. I am so, so, so lucky. And I have so much gratitude towards that. But it's like, at a certain point, if you attribute all of your failure to like the way you were raised or whatever it is, you're going to be stuck there forever, because it doesn't matter how you were raised. And I get it. It's like, I'm sitting here with all this like luck essentially. And I'm sitting here with this great life, these great parents who taught me everything. And it's like, oh, easy for you to say, but I'm telling you guys this to help you. Like, I've watched success, I've watched all the things that people want, like the full families, the positive mindsets, the drive, like just coming from a family of such life and love and knowledge and success and money. I have watched the ways that you get there. I've watched the exact techniques and the exact like step by step on how to have the most amazing, perfect life. And yes, I am thankful for my parents, but I want you guys to know that like this is how you do it. And if you sit around feeling bad for yourself, you're never going to get there because the truth is, it's great. It is great and wonderful that I had my parents and whatever. But if I had the same negative mindset and adopted what my peers' mindsets were, then I would become just like them. And then it wouldn't really matter how I was raised. So I guess my point in all that is really that one, if a thought comes into your mind, you don't have to entertain it. You don't have to give it life. You don't have to feed yourself labels. Um, and the voices are lying to you, but it's also normal. Like thoughts are going to pop into your head and you decide what you entertain and what you say, fuck you, like move on. Sometimes I'll out loud tell myself, shut up. Especially because I live alone. Like if I think like, oh, if I don't do this, like this is going to happen. I'm like, shut up, stop. Or I immediately change the thought. And I'm like, nope, stop right now. What am I eating for lunch? Like you literally have to be there for yourself and show up for yourself. And it starts with the little things. Everything in life is mental. And that's just the truth. Like it all starts there. I have literally seen people go through some of the hardest things, but because they have a positive mentality, they get through it and they come out stronger. And if they don't get through it, it's like they had a positive mindset. So it didn't like destroy them in the same way it would if they didn't. So I just encourage you guys to like focus on the things that you have control over because after that worrying and being stressed, like you're doing it for nobody. Like you're not helping anyone, you're not helping yourself. And even with people in your life, like sometimes worrying too much about other people, it's like, okay, your worrying isn't helping them. So stop. Yes, it's horrible. Life happens, guys. Life happens. But sitting there and worrying sometimes, even though it feels like the right thing to have empathy or whatever, you hurting yourself purposefully is not helping anyone. That's not empathy. That's not being a good person. That is literally making the situation worse. And then it's like you're ruining two lives instead of one. And I don't even know if you guys can understand really what I'm talking about, but I've just watched people go through such hard things and I had to learn that me because I feel everything so deeply and I really like suck energy from people, I had to realize like okay, that's something they're going through and like what can I do to be there for them? What can I do to help them? Not like how can I take this on for them and be sad for them and feel everything they're feeling because you feeling all of their negative emotions is not helping them. It's not helping them. It just makes it worse. Like, yes, have empathy for people and kind of feel for where they're at. But at the same time, there has to be a boundary there because there's just no point in you taking on all of their sadness. Like, you're not helping them by doing that. So, that's another thing that sometimes I still am learning. And that's the thing is like, life is just life, You learn things and sometimes it helps you later on, and sometimes you have to relearn it. Sometimes you handle a situation really well, and then something else comes along and you wish you did it completely differently. And it's okay. Like, everything's gonna be okay. But at the same time, you can't just sit back and watch life happen to you. Like, life is happening for you. And you just have to take control, get yourself into the driver's seat, and just like, yeah, I really don't know how else to explain it. It just makes me sad how many people just like give up control and they just think that things happen to them. They're unlucky. They were dealt bad cards, and that's that. They just kind of give up on themselves and their lives. And if that's you, you're doing it to yourself because you don't have control over your circumstances. Well, you don't have control over the circumstances you're dealt. So it's like, what are you going to do about it? Go fix it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know. This podcast is a little short. It's only 20 minutes, but I feel like I yeah, those are just kind of things on my mind recently. Um, and I'm just really excited. I could really get into with you guys like how dealing with social media has been because it is hard to go after your dreams. And like you hear all the cliches, but when you're in the thick of it, you sometimes forget, like, oh shit, like this is what they were talking about. And so that's just been me the past few days and past few weeks, is just reminding myself, like, yeah, like this shit is gonna be a challenge. And it's beautiful that I get to go through that challenge. Like it really is. It's exciting. And I could let myself be scared and kind of ruin my own life with it. But who would I be telling you guys to take control of your life? And then I'm sitting here like being scared and miserable because I'm am taking the leap of faith and going for my dreams. So I don't know, kind of like serious note here, but it is hard to go after what you want. There will be ups and downs, but the most important thing is that you never doubt yourself. There can't be any doubts in your mind. There can't be a plan B. You have to keep going. And you know what else? The days that make you successful, the days that will make me become a billionaire, become like a motivational speaker, all the things I want to be, an influencer, are the days where it's just kind of quiet, where I am just living alone and it's like a lot of silence, or I'm not getting a lot of like likes, comments, messages that day. Like I don't hang out with someone that day. Like it's just me, myself, and I. Those days, the quiet days where it feels like I'm not moving along, are the days that are blowing me up on social media without me knowing, because it's the things like this. It's the work I'm putting in that no one else is seeing that is really progressing me. And yeah, maybe it goes unnoticed, but the truth is, those are the building block days to what you're going to become. And the success is beautiful and amazing, but those days are built from the really quiet days where you're like, oh shit, how am I going to make this work? And I think it's so beautiful that a lot of times no one else does get to see those days. Like you get to live those with yourself. Like I think it's so cool that no one else gets to experience my life exactly with me. And like now we can kind of get into dating, because if you guys don't know, I'm almost 21 next week. And which is so crazy, by the way. It doesn't even feel like my birthday's coming up, even though I'm going to Vegas for my 21st. I'm seeing like John Summit and Nelly. I'm excited, but I'm going with 3 friends, my parents. So I am excited. But yeah, I think it's so fun to do life alone. And that's the truth, is I am doing life alone. And I think that's beautiful. Like no one else is seeing anything else but my day to day. No one else is in my thoughts. And to a certain extent, we're all doing life alone. I mean, even if you have a partner, like they still aren't you. But I don't know. It's really interesting, my relationship with dating. And I mean, like, my mental relationship with it, because I am human just like everyone. And there are obviously days where I am excited to meet my person in the future. There are some days where I'm like, listen, like, I can wait forever. Not forever, but it's just like there are days where I crave it more than others, if you know what I mean. And that doesn't mean I crave it to happen right now. It's just I think about it more because I have also always, since I was honestly from the earliest time I can remember, I've always felt so deeply connected to my soulmate. I think just growing up in a family of soulmates, like my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, like really everyone I know is just like so perfectly paired, that I've always felt so deeply connected to him. And like, I know I'll know when I meet him. Like it's just going to be the most powerful energy in the world, and I'm so excited for that. And like some days I'm like craving it more than others. And then I don't know, like I guess it's not like bad though. It's not in a bad way where I'm like I want a boyfriend. It's not like that. It's just like damn, like I honestly feel his energy with me and I'm excited to meet him in real life, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like he's always lived within me. I do think we find each other in every lifetime. If not, like, I think our souls are made of the same thing. You guys are going to think I'm insane, but like, I've already started writing my vows to my husband and my soulmate, and I've never met him. I've never dated anyone. I've literally kissed one guy ever. Like, just so funny. But I've just always felt a really, really deep connection to my soulmate. And it's like, honestly, one of the things I hold the closest to my heart. And it's like, again, I probably sound insane, but it's just like a feeling that's like lived within me my whole life. Like, anytime I'm sad or upset, I know that like my soulmate is like sending me good energy. And like, I don't know, like sometimes I literally hear him talking to me, guys. Like, I know that sounds wild, but I it's just even like the invisible string. Like, it's not that I think he's shown up physically in parts of my life, but I just feel like I've always had that string to him, like in my soul and in my heart and like even in my mind. And I just feel like sometimes he like tugs a little harder on it just to let me know he's there, like whenever I need him the most. And like maybe that's why I've always been so okay being single and like not really needing like a boyfriend, because it's like I don't crave a boyfriend. I don't crave that like attention, or like I don't crave like just like being around someone all day. It's more just like I crave like my one soulmate that I like feel his energy. Um but yeah, I think that's why I'm so okay being single, cuz it's like that's another reason that I've never felt alone, because I've felt like I know he's always been with me. Like I already feel like God, I literally sound fucking insane. I sound fucking insane, but like I just feel like he's always with me. And I know that sounds so silly, but like I think I feel like he's always with me because I'm also always with him. Like, he's always in my thoughts, and like I feel like I know his energy and like his soul, because I feel like it is the same as what mine is made of, just like more masculine energy. But like I just feel like I know we pair perfectly together. And it's like I think of him all the time. I like I'm building myself obviously for me, but like also for like him and like our family one day, that it's like I know he's doing the same thing for me. And I don't know, I think that's like beautiful that I have that, and that like it lives within me. And I think it's just going to be really, really powerful when we meet. And I know everyone's like, don't look for it, or like, don't think about it too hard. But like, I love that I think about it. Like, it's so special to me. It's like one of my favorite thoughts. And like, obviously, it's another thing where like you don't want to overindulge, and you don't want to like become obsessed with it, and you don't want to constantly be seeking for it, because then like you're not living in the present and you're not fully focused on yourself. But at the same time, I think it's so beautiful that it's like a feeling I have. It's like a feeling. It's just a part of my brain that like lives within me. And I love that. And I think it's beautiful that I see love that way. I think it's beautiful that like I look at love as such an important thing, and it's not something stupid or silly to me, which is why I value my body so much, because like again, like it's not a joke to me. Like, I think hookup culture is the worst thing ever, because I think sex is something that is so vulnerable and so important between like soulmates. Like, I do think that there's one person you're really supposed to have sex with. Maybe not ever in your whole life. Like, I do think it's possible to have like people that are meant to be in your life at different times in your life. But I definitely think like sex is for having kids and having babies and starting a family. And I think that you do have your soulmate out there that you're supposed to do that with. And it just makes me so, so sad to see hookup culture and just like social media as a whole, and just like men not being raised right, honestly, like kind of ruin that for people. And I don't know, I just wish people saw love and looked at love and sex and relationships and dating and soulmates and all that the way I did, because it is like I do attest so much of my happiness to the way that like I see those things. Cause again, like I value my body, meaning like not only do I not give myself away, which makes me feel more fulfilled and like makes me feel closer to myself and makes me value myself, but it also makes me want to like work out, to look good and to feel good and to become the best version of myself. Like, same with like my mindset. Like, obviously, I want a good mindset for me, but like, I also want to be able to share that with my partner one day and our kids and like raise people to have that, which makes me feel more fulfilled because I love myself more for having a good mindset. But then it's like, I also feel like I'm doing it not just for me, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I have a bigger purpose to one day like start a family and like to be able to like provide that positive mindset for my husband, especially because like I do have the power of being feminine. You know what I mean? Like I have the power of having that like soft, nurturing side of me. And I want to be able to kind of like polish that and like really like lean into that as much as possible to be able to provide that more for my future husband, which is why it's like I'm not ready to date seriously. Like, I know I'm almost 21, but like this year of 2025, like, it is literally like, I guess you could say my resolution is just like not to have a boyfriend. I don't know if that's the right word for it because I've never had a boyfriend in my whole life, but like, it's just so important to me not to date this year, especially because I'm building my career and I'm building up so many parts of myself. And it's the first time in my life I've had so much time freedom and not had school. So it's really important to me to build myself up because I think my husband and my boyfriend and fiance, all the things that he'll be in my life, like the father to my kids, my partner in crime, the person who's there for me through it all. He deserves literally everything. And I want to be able to show up as my best self the same way I do for me. I want to be able to do that for him. And I would never like want to get into something knowing that I'm not at that part of me yet. And I think a lot of people, I think most people do that because it's like, yeah, I'm a great person. I have a lot of love to give. Like, I am very stable. Like those things are all great, but at the same time, like I don't want to just be like at a good point. Like I want to be at a great point. Like I don't want to just be like happy, good mindset. Like I know I wouldn't cause issues. I know I'm secure in myself. I know I'm confident. Like I know I'm driven, hardworking. I come from a good family. Like I bring so much to the table, but like that like he deserves more than that. You know what I mean? Just like I deserve more than that from him. Like I don't want just to have that from him. Like I want him to be able to like emotionally fulfill me. I want him to have a good relationship with himself and his body and his family and all the things. So it's like yeah, it's great that I have all these things going for me and I am ahead of most the people, if not all the people my age and that I know. But it's like, that's still not enough for me. Like, I want to grow and evolve more than the point I'm at before I get into that. And so I really am giving myself the year to evolve in that way, in a way I've never gotten the opportunity to do so because I've always been in school. So I don't know. And I know that like this podcast is just like more chill and like me talking about myself and how I think. But I think that's more valuable than telling you guys, like, this is how you think this way. I think just letting you guys kind of see what goes on in my brain and like walk you through like my mindset and the way I think. And then like you can start to have those thoughts yourself, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Thank you guys for just listening if you've gotten this far. Um, if you are somebody who's actively like in my life, I want to know that like I don't know. I want not like your thoughts on this because obviously, like I said, I'm tired of people telling me what to do. But I would love to know, like, if you listen to this, like, if you listen to the whole thing, if it provided any value to you, if you agree with me or disagree with me on anything, like, I would just love to have this conversation. And I know there's a lot of things, like, even just quotes that people have told me where I think about it a week, a month, a year later. And I love telling that person, like, you made me think of this or like you helped me in this way. So like if there's anything that resonated with you, I would love to know. Like please feel free to like DM me, text me, whatever. But thank you guys for listening if you did. And honestly, even if this gets 0 views, like I love spending this time with myself. Like I know that sounds so silly in a way, but I love like to me this is quality time and I just get to know myself so much more and I do think it provides value to give people like my insight and just let them kind of see like where I'm coming from and how, and even if you don't agree and you don't want to adopt any of the things I've said or how I'm thinking, like just being able to see how another person's mind works I think is so cool. Which is why I really love the idea of podcasting, but yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Love most of you. Because I know there's these people from high school like stalking me, hating on me, wishing they could beat me. Um, like there always are, but um, yeah, just know that like if you are someone who's messaged me or listened to this, like that doesn't just go unseen. Like those messages live in my mind because I do think it's cool to have people who support you. I don't need it because I have myself, but at the same time, like I am human and like it does feed my soul to know that like all the work I'm putting in is resonating with a lot of people. And so getting those messages all day of how much I'm helping people and just like how much like kind of like my insight and value has helped them like makes me feel so good and makes me want to keep going and really is the thing like it's the reason that I want to do this. Like I want to help people. Like that's what I'm so passionate about. So anyways, ending it now, but love you guys and follow me at Talia Breyer on pretty much literally everything. And yeah, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.